Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Kryptonite Show. Your host Superman in the house again. Day one PROVEX results. We're going to be checking it out today. We're also going to talk about some insights, and so get into the comments and contribute. So if you've seen anything that I don't talk about, you get in there and let us discuss it. So basically that. So day one results. We're going to talk about it. We did do the live show yesterday. We had a huge audience watch yesterday's live show. And I guess everyone's interested in ProveX. So, yeah, let's see where it goes from here. We got Eddie in house there. Good to see you, Eddie. Hey, welcome to the chat there. What a crap show it says Eddie yesterday. Well, you know, Pulse Chain down again. We're going to talk about all that. So, and we got Pulse Chain back on the rise right now. So, yeah, we're going to get into all the details. Let us know in the chat there. Thanks for starting the show off there with some color, Eddie, with some color. All right, so let's get into it without further ado. If you're new to the channel, of course, don't forget to subscribe. We're on the YouTube channel, so we're on Kryptonite Show, Superman Crypto, and Pulse Chain X. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button. Take a moment to do that. And also, if you're on X, hit the follow button at the top of the profile on X. If you're watching there as well, helps a lot. So that'd be great. We've got Craig in the house. Hey, Craig, good morning all. Good to see you, Craig. So we're going to kick it off with covering the crypto market first, the majors, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the top 10, etc. Then we're going to get into Pulse Chain, and we're going to do some, as much coverage as we can of ProveX. So I'll try not to sneeze here. Try to do as much coverage of ProveX here. Oh, God, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. And we got Pulse Chain. We're going to look at how Pulse Chain is recovering. Oh, couldn't stop it. Sneeze came. I hate those things. So let's get into it without further ado and kick into gear now that my sneeze is out of the way. All right. So we have the crypto market at the moment sitting at 2.555 trillion. So we've got the 555s in there, up 2.6%. So a nice little rally here on Sunday in the US. Of course, it's Monday down under. Yeah, looking pretty good for moving into the weekend. We got Bitcoin right now at 72,775, looking pretty strong, up 2.4%. We got Ethereum up 4%, 2,177. And then we've got BNB at number 4, up 2.6% at $674. XRP at number 5, up 3.2%, $1.45. And then we've got Solana up 5% at $92.56 at number 7. Number 8 is Tron, up 0.2%, just below 30 cents. And Doge there, number 10, is up 2%, just below 9.8 cents. So there we go. Those are the top 10. Best performer overnight is Solana up 5%. Ethereum is next, up 4%. So those are the two big strong movers. Over the top 10 over the last week, we've had Solana up 13.4%. That is best performer, followed by Ethereum up 12% for the week. So pretty good week if you think about it. Obviously not 20, 30% gains, but still pretty solid there for the majors. Looking at the top 100 over the last week, we've got BitTensor Tau. That's getting a bit of, people talking about that. So 57%. Render up 41%. Number 2, Trump has obviously been on a bit of a move too. Still low base at $4 compared to the beginning. Up 36% there. Mantle up 24%, and Hyperliquid, of course, probably going to be a star of the bull market, is up 22% there as well. Those are top 5 at the moment. Looking at the top 1,000, we've got Templar, Decargo, and Anoma. Those are the top performers in the top 1,000 right now. That moves around a lot, as you guys know. Trending overall, BitTensor or Renzo, and Bitcoin are the ones trending right now. So that's an overview of the market. So a nice little green day, nice little up day there for Sunday in the US and Monday here down under. Let's go to the Bitcoin charts and have a look at that on a daily basis. Look what's happening, guys. We are moving, the chart's moving back up over the 50-day moving average on Bitcoin. Very bullish sign. So that's a very cool thing. Nice to see a nice little climb up there. But we have got a rounding 2 of the 50 starting to round out. So hopefully we had this death cross all the way back here on the 7th of November last year. Played out pretty much, isn't it? With at least two waves to the downside. So here we are trying to get back over the 50. That's kind of cool. So, last time we got over the 50, we got a big move, right? We got a big move. We're going to see a big move too. We had that last time in April 25. So we're getting a big move. Question mark there, looking good. We've still got the 200-day moving at 87,000. So that's ahead of us there. Big move. Let's see what happens. That is a Bitcoin. Looking to Ethereum on the daily as well. We've got it also moving up to the 50-day. We also had our death cross, remember? It was about a week later after Bitcoin. And we had kind of one major wave after that. And here we are. We tested 1,800, which is around, 1,890 or whatever. We actually got a bit lower than that, 1,750, around Tom DeMark's number. So far, so good. We're very close to getting over the 50-day moving average, which was at 2,200. 2,200 is the key mark. And we're at 2172 here. Yesterday, we got up to 2,203, didn't hold it. We also had a previous attempt 4 days ago at 2211. So we're getting pretty close, though, and the average is coming down to meet the market. So it could be a very bullish cross there. We'll keep a lookout for that. And we've got the 200-day moving average up here in orange at 2,837. So that's kind of it on the daily right now. So that is the crypto majors looking pretty positive. And potentially at the crossroads of breaking to the upside. Obviously, we've still got the Iranian conflict going on, but it is what it is. Let's move over to the Pulse Chain and see where Pulse Chain's going then. Pulse Chain, obviously, after the ProveX launch yesterday, obviously pulled down prices again. We obviously had the ProveX sacrifice pull Pulse Chain down. We had the launch of ProveX pull Pulse Chain down despite getting $2.4 million of liquidity. I guess half of that, $1.2 million in stables and ETH. So we got day 1,039 on Pulse Chain. We currently got Pulse at the moment. I'm going to give this a refresh because sometimes it gets stuck there. Yeah, thought so. So we just lost the zero, guys. We just lost the zero. We're on the rise again. We're back at 4 zeros 102. 101, I should say. We're still down 10% based on whatever the price was, yesterday, which is probably 1,100, right? 1,100. We got PulseX at the moment at 5 zeros, still 767, still down about 10.6%, slightly down against Pulse. The buy and burn sitting at 6.68%. And then we got INC sitting at 46 cents, down 9%. And we've got PHEX there, sitting down almost 14% there at I guess just below 1900th of a penny. EHEX there, 00065, not really rebounding from what I can see there too much. And the combined price of EHEX and PX is exactly at a quarter of a penny, the combined price of those. Moving to the gas prices, we're at 900,000 beach, pretty similar to what we've had for last week. 0.3 of a penny for a swap at the moment. Validators, we're at 52,600, pretty similar to yesterday. We're down about 700-800 over the last week or something. And I don't know whose they were, but disappeared. 70.5 million, so we're down about $1 million on what we were the last 2 days. So down about $1 million there. That is the overall on the bridge. We will check out the bridge, see whether we get any money coming over at all, but it does look like the values are down, despite Bitcoin and Ethereum being up, right? We'll have a look at pulse alerts and see if we got any capital leaving, off the ProveX. So let's jump into Pulse Chain itself. Obviously, people not too happy. ProveX launch and we get the rotation and the sell-offs and all the rest of it. And of course, whenever you're adding another token to the whole ecosystem, especially one by Richard Hart, it is another one where you've got to have capital gets kind of drained unless you're adding capital over the bridge, or at least getting capital from the sidelines that has been inactive on Pulse Chain. And then otherwise, it's just another drain on the chain, and it's kind of what we saw happen there. We're pulling asset prices down on the Richard cause, etc. But this is the chart. So we were all the way up here before the launch of Pulse Chain. ProveX. We're all the way. This is the hourly chart, by the way, on Pulse Chain. We're all the way up at 4 zeros, 1100. So that's why we're down, around 10% right now. And then we came all the way down, all the way down. We gained another zero, all the way down to 91.72. So a long way down. That because the launch was about here, right? The launch was about here. So we came all the way. We'd already got front run already. People already moving, and we came all the way down to here. So that was a 19% move down. No wonder people are not too happy. Not too happy about that. And we are on the rebound now, though. So coming off the bottom, and we're back over the hourly, the 21 moving average for the hourly. We're up about 9.7% at the moment, and presumably this is going to continue. We'll see. We're going to have a look at the 4-hour view, which is a trader's view. Trader's view's bounced off 34 in the RSI. We're at 47. Our target reasonably could be 10.21, so just above where we are right now, to get back over that 21 moving average on the 4-hourly. But not much fun. People didn't enjoy it, and been complaints about that, obviously. The daily there, we're currently at 48 on the RSI, kind of in the middle, and we are not quite yet back over the 21 daily moving average, which is pretty similar to the 4-hour, around 10.16, right? So 10.20, 10.16. So we're not too far from that. So we'll probably presumably just move above over that 21, and probably try and keep moving up here after the PROVEX there has already as the dust has settled. It's so. We got baseline in the house there. ProveX stacking says baseline, nice one. Net zero knowledge printer there says baseline. So yeah, Kairos from Emmett Farms has launched a zero knowledge printer for ProveX. Right, so that is the Pulse chart there at the moment. So looking better with 4 zeros, and at least we've recovered some of the decrease there, maybe 45% or so. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Richard Hart. Obviously, Richard Hart launched at 22 hours ago. Actually, it was about an hour late, remember, because we were watching it live. But he gave a post after he had set up all the LPs. I don't think we've had anything from him today so far, but we'll keep a lookout for that. I did post this 12 hours ago, so that was since we covered ProveX 1 million%. So he's got lull on there. Let's have a little look and see what the comments were on that. I'm going to scroll up there. So Crypto Sevens in there says he's looking forward to ProveX, what it's designed to do. Now, he didn't sacrifice, so he was pretty public on that. What else is in there? Polskin Store says lots of free ProveX shirts on the way. I would ask MVS in the Discord GetX if you want to know about that printer. He's involved. He's participating, I should say, in that as well. All right. What else have we got going? One day it will happen to the 8 cores. we got stuff in there. So anyway, that is where we are with Richard. So nothing yet, but we will come back to Richard. But let's have a look at the ProveX chart. So as you guys know, we did 3 hours of live coverage of the launch of ProveX. So you can go back and watch that video yesterday. It's kind of like the documented archive video, because I don't think anyone else was streaming on it. There was an X space on, but they were talking about lots of different things. But we pretty much focused on the launch itself, so you can go check back that. What else we're going to say? So we're on the main pair, right? The main pairs are USDC, USD Tether, DAI, and Wrapped ETH. Those are what Richard set up. About $2.4 million in liquidity at the start. Obviously, it's going to move around with buying and selling. I suggested to you that I thought the market cap should fit, if I was being generous, somewhere between 60 and 75 million. Remember I said that? And we're currently at 80 million right now. So we're just outside that range. This is the 15-minute candles. So if I do hourly, it's not that long really. If I do hourly, that's kind of what we looked at. But we've got lower highs, right? Lower highs. So it's definitely looking weaker. And like I think, if we do the market cap, we'll keep to the hourly on the market cap, just so you guys can see. And I got this range, right? This is kind of the range. And I had 75 mil. Let's see if I can get that accurate. 75 million to 60 mil. Now, we did come down into the zone. We came into 67. We had a power back up, etc. But I want to go back to the 15-minute chart because I think I've got my where's my little image here? I had little line. Where'd that go? Where'd my little line go? I had a little line. Where's my little line? Let me see if I can find my little line. You know, we had Richard Hart's tweet X post or something around here. Let's go back to hourly again. We had I don't know if I accidentally deleted it or what, but we had Richard Hart's little X post, and we wondered whether that would have a Richard Hart effect over a 24-hour period. Well, that has not played out. Now, one could argue, well, it hasn't played out to the upside. One could argue it helped keep the price up. So that's the counterfactor, I guess. We did have obviously a sell-off after Richard's post, and then we had a bit of a rise, 92.85 million, and then we came back down. We touched the top of the range that I suggested was probably fair value, 75 mil, and we came back up to 83, came back down to 78, and we were back at 80 million on the market cap. Now, what's the benchmark for that, right? The benchmark is Pulse Chain, right? So let's go to have a look at the other markets. So like I say, we're going to look at different angles of ProveX. So hopefully you guys enjoy this coverage. Let me know if I'm missing anything, whether you guys have seen something that's really interesting. Let us know in the chat. Big thumbs up there from GetHex there. Nice. And so we got the market cap at the moment of Pulse based on GoPulse numbers at 152 million. If you've got ProveX at 80 million, that's it's just over half, right, of the Pulse market cap. We've got 149, which is pretty similar to Pulse here on PulseX. That's about the same, just over half of PulseX right now. And then we've got Inc at 26 million, so it's still just over 3 times Inc. And then we got 200 million for PHEX. So, it's what's that, about 45% of HEX there. Once the technology gets out and everything else, I think it could be re-rated in value, obviously, in the burning and all that. But at the moment, 80 million. So that's kind of the play right now. So this liquidity was around about 1 million when we were looking at it. It's at 928K now. We have 2 million volume in the main pair. Give you an idea. Now looking at some dumpers, let's look at some dumpers. Let's have a look at dumpers. So we did have some dumping candles, right, that impacted this chart. Here's the 5-minute chart. So we can see early on we had some pretty big dumping volumes come in. So people that went out. Some people went out with like 12% gain from the sacrifice. Things like that were going on. Since that time, it has quieted down. These big candles has quieted down. You can see the volume candles here on the 5 minutes. Had a couple of little dump fests here going on. Obviously, quite a bit of dumping down here. All adds up, right? All adds up with all these little volume candles. But that's kind of where we are right now. So we might go to 15-minute candle. Gives us a kind of a nice little picture. This is kind of where I feel fair value is at the moment, and probably towards the bottom of the range if you ask me really. But market's going to decide. So let's have a look at the amount of holders. So I think we start off with about 7,500. You can correct me if I got that wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what the distribution was. And now we're up to 10,400. Yesterday, when we finished the live show, we'd gone from about 7,500 to 9,500. Now there'd be quite a lot of little bot accounts and all that sort of stuff set up, but it's still quite a big increase. So we've gone up from 7.5 to 9.5 to almost 10.5. So another 1,000 since we finished live streaming yesterday. So by my accounts, we're up, about 2,900 accounts on holders. And this is where the power comes in because, the power of Richard Hart, the power of the community, the support for the ProveX. So we're sitting about at 10,400 accounts. So what have we done? We've done the price, the market cap. So price at the moment is still up 8% on the 24-hour basis. And we've got, still pretty strong liquidity, still decent market, but 80K. Will it drift back into my fair value range? Is kind of my quantitative range here, just what I think relative to the other protocols but once it gets live and we get some exponential growth with the ProveX technology, all that sort of stuff, adoption, then you can re-rate it. You can re-rate it, but I think it should probably drift into here as well. All right, so that's kind of the play. We did have let's go back to the price quickly. We did have our The best sacrifice price, as far as I know, was the ProveX one. ProveX, the public one from Bunker Minerals. And we had a little price for that of 32, didn't we? It's pretty much 32 to 35 is the numbers that I've heard. So 32 would put us around about here. So that means that, this guy's is largely well in the money still, right? So well in the money, but they're just not selling. So, they're up about 92% by my accounts. The best is the marginal price, or the best price. Everyone else is less profitable, so 92%. But maybe people just maybe 2x is not enough, right? People are after much bigger numbers. Now, some of the larger whales with big volume, they're happy to take 20%, 10%, 30%, because just a decent whack. If you've got 100 grand, that's another 10, 20 grand. So they're like, oh, I'll take that, and that's pretty much it. So I think we already saw some of those wicks already early on. So that's where we are right now. Hey, we've got Tam Tam in the house. Hello, my lovely, says Tam Tam. Great to have Tam Tam in the house there. Another Pulse Chain influencer out there. Big shout out. We've got a lot of ladies in the chat today. Nice one there. Well, so that's kind of where we are right now, 78.8. So we're even weakening off in the market cap as we're going live. So we'll keep a lookout for that. It's only the first day results, right? So that's it. So we've got a big increase, almost 3,000 accounts. We've got the price holding pretty well, just slightly above the range that I had, and so forth. Oh, there's the post there from Richard there. It's on the hourly. It shows up on the hourly there. And then we didn't have that really. We didn't have a Richard pump effect, but you could argue it kept the price up perhaps. But prices got a certain amount of trading volume. So let's all look at the actual structure of the chart. We got lower lows, lower highs, right? So that's not a good sign. We did predict the rollover. Remember, we talked about that. The rollover were played out pretty hilariously. We have had a nice bounce from 5,900, but we, it got to 6,600, and then it's failed again. It's looking a bit weak now, so it really needs to hold this line at 6,200. Otherwise, it's going to come down to this 59, and if it breaks 59, we're down, and we're getting down towards the bottom of that market cap range that I suggested, right? So it's kind of where I think we are there. We've got Perpetual in the house, so good to see Perpetual. Hello. We've got Crypto Jacks in the house as well. Smash that like and subscribe. Definitely subscribe and follow. We got hit the like there from Perpetual, absolutely, and a nice little trophy there. Nice one there, Crypto Jacks. So that's pretty much the chart right now. So looking to the weak side for sure, and let's see whether it moves into my market cap range. We shall see. All right, so that's kind of it right now. So sort of doing more descriptive coverage of where the key results are. Now we're going to look at, I guess, the expansion, some of the fundamentals of the ecosystem. So let's do that, and let's go have a look at the contract. We're going to put that in and see what new pools popped up, right? So what new pools have popped up. So let's have a look here. We've got a new ProveX Pulse pool show up. So obviously we had the stable coins. So we've got the Pulse pools. We've got a couple of them, 23K in this one, and the Pulse, 29K in this one. And the Pulse are still relatively small compared to the main ones that Richard set up. Because ProveX USD Tether's got 315, DAI's got 312. We've got a little PulseX pool here, 10K. I got another Pulse pool. So we've got at least 3 Pulse pools now. All got about 20 to 30K in them. Interesting. So it's about 100K. What else is in here that's kind of interesting? So this is the other thing we want to look at. So we've added about 100K in Pulse, a little 10K in PulseX added to the stable coins and the wrapped ETH that Richard set up. But then we've got top tier teams, right? So this is what we wanted to see happen. So we've got PGC the Greys, 14K LP there. We'll watch that. I suggest to you that's probably going to grow quite a lot over time. We've got the Delt token, one of the top pump time memes of 42K. I think they were in first with the pool, if I remember rightly, 42K. Then we've got UFO related to PGC, 22K there, which is actually funny enough bigger than the Greys one, which is kind of funny. So that's 34K. Even the world's greatest P-Diprim got a little bit of liquidity in there as well, 4K. But actually, Peacock, doesn't Peacock have one? I'm pretty sure Peacock has one too. Peacock has a peer. We'll go find that, shall we? Peacock. when we got Peacock ProveX somewhere. I'm pretty sure they set up a pair too. Yeah. So ProveX pair pretty small actually at the moment, but that probably grow to like the BTC. Currently $7,400 right now in there. And I do believe there's a few other pairs out there as well that are there. But those are the big premium sort of tokens on Pulse Chain, and that's sort of expanding that reach as well. And if you think about it, Peacock is paired up to something like, was it 230 plus pairs, and then PGC is also kind of indexed with a lot of LPs with a lot of other teams as well. So you kind of get that sort of quasi indexing through LP groups there and fattening up the liquidity, etc. Good for arbitrage, the rest of it, especially if you're a reflection token, which is a PGC. So yeah, you get the bots working for you, right? Get the bots working for you. So that's kind of where we are with the ProveX there. We just got pushed down 61.94 on there as well. I just noticed, and we got a whole re-rate, and the percentages have completely changed. See how quickly the percentages changed? You went from 8% green to 33%. So now we're getting the showing up the percentages on the chart with the downtrend there. So next target would be 5,900, guys, and if it breaks that, then down it goes. And look, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it does that. And because you're going to get, as soon as it breaks down, you're going to get sacrifices that on the whitelist that start, not the diamond hand ones, it's the ones that go, oh my God, it's going down. I don't want to miss out on my 50% profit. I don't want. Well, it's 40% now. Oh, damn it, I got to sell. It's kind of like that. You get a bit of that. Damn it, it's below my sacrifice price. I definitely got to sell at a loss. It's kind of like that. I got to preserve capital. It's kind of the psychology that happens. Anyway, I'm not saying that necessarily we'll get there, but it's the sort of thing that happens on the downside. All right, so that's kind of it. We've still got Pulse there holding on to 401 right now, down 6%. So that's actually squeezing based on where it was last year. So pretty key that we want to get over probably 1020 is the key there, and get back over the 21 moving average, particularly on the 4 hourly there. We've still got that trend there. So we want to get over that 1020. So we're not too far from that. We're at 1,000, trying to hold on to that 4 zeros. Again, damn it. All right, so that's kind of where we are with the pools. Now, I did want to talk a little bit about liquidity, right? The size of liquidity. So we've talked about, descriptive of ProveX. We've talked about some of the big premium tokens, at least 4 or 5 of them that have done liquidity pools with ProveX. That's cool. It was good to see that. And now we've also got liquidity amount. So one of the interesting things about liquidity that Richard set up was obviously there were stable coins and they're wrapped ETH, and it was on Pulse Chain. And secondly, that was bigger than I believe any of the other LPs in terms of stable coins. So we got Hex at the moment with 1.58 million. We've probably got ProveX over 2 mil, right? So it's more than that, probably 2.2 or something, 2.1 mil, and so it's more than the Hex LP. We got PulseX at the moment at 4.6, so it's obviously less than half of that. And then it's got 2.7 million on INC, so it's less than that, probably 70-80% of that, 70%, let's say. And then you got Pulse at about 4 million, and that is about half of that, just over half maybe. But what's the interesting side of things is that the amount of stable coins, right? So there's a lot of stable coins in that pool for ProveX, making it kind of strong from that point of view. So there we go. Getting a bit of a battle there. I'm trying to fight back to 80 mil there. So that's some pretty interesting stuff with the liquidity side of things. Now I think we're gonna get into some speculation. Should we do that? Should we get some speculation about ProveX? I sacked on day one number pool, and I am just about break even. Says I'm going. Okay, cool. Good to know. So yeah, we've got some speculations out there. What's going to happen with ProveX? So obviously, the technology needs to roll out and get adopted and have exponential growth and burn, baby, burn, and that will help the token. That's a longer play though. Just like PulseX, you think about it. So that's key. So what could be some other pumpamentals that could happen with ProveX? Well, it's probably the same as what could happen with potentially happen with the Richard cause to some degree, depending on the technology you applied. But of course, people are still expecting potential stablecoin from Richard, potential wallet from Richard. Now, funnily enough, we do already have projects that are pushing, frontier wallets like Liberty Swap doing the ZKX and normal wallet, kind of hybrid, matching those, which I think is fantastic. They've also teased about a bit of a stable coin themselves, which I thought was pretty interesting. So we're going to go to that, and we're going to go hunt Peacock down because they made a very interesting comment. I don't know where they're heading with these comments sometimes, but we're going to have a little look at it. We're going to go find it, and that was from them. So let me go and have a hunt of this. You can see the peacock pair there, but let's go and hunt down this comment. I think this one here, is it? Yeah. The main ProveX trading pairs are basically EUSD, EUSD Tether, eDai, and Wrapped ETH, and some other non-core tokens on Pulse, which we've just covered, right? We just covered that. The wildcard should be another decentralized stablecoin. Now, I don't think they're alluding to PDAI. damn that PDAI. PDAI is a fraction of a penny, right? It's a fraction of a penny. But it will be interesting to see how this plays out. So they keep alluding to stable. Every so often they'll pop in a stablecoin comment. So it makes you wonder what these guys are up to. Because remember, the Liberty Swap's doing a lot of the sort of stuff that Richard Hart's vision is about, right? So this is they seem to be well funded as well. They're unlike they're unlike any team on Pulse Chain, with a few exceptions, maybe like Internet Money Wallet and KG. People like that. They're really pushing the innovation, adoption, all that sort of stuff. So they're in a pretty small class of projects with all their strengths being having a lot of arrows in their arrow. What's that called? The arrow tether or something. I can't remember exactly, but they're kind of pretty interesting. But I thought that comment was pretty interesting. Wildcard should be another decentralized stablecoin. Yeah, really? They don't really tell you much about it, though. They don't really tell you much about what the hell they're talking about there. You go through, coin's not paired there. No, it's not us. I know you're making a peacock ProveX. I got peacocks here, so there's no real allusion to what that might be. So it might be something worth asking them. See whether you can push their buttons and see what the hell they're talking about there. But that's along the line about speculations about ProveX, and potentially all the Richard Hart cores. So the 5 cores is that it would make sense that if Richard's been focusing on Ethereum, particularly where most of the capital was raised from the retail for ProveX, and you launch on Pulse Chain with all those stables, is then that is this going to be used for a protocol, for a stable coin, or for a wallet? Either or. I mean, you can make it work for both. They're obviously different protocols, but that would be a massive pumpamental for ProveX, let alone the Richard cores, right? So those are out there. That's our speculations. That's part of the roadmap. I know that Richard did say that he preferred a fiat-backed coin for a stable coin, but hey, look, why not use your own coins and do a collateralized one, fractionalized one? So we'll see where he goes with that. But Richard's more focused on Pulse Chain season, and we're definitely seeing those moves. And I know in the short term, like the last 24 hours, it's pulled Pulse down in the Pulse Chain markets, but those are short-term penalties. And I know that generally adding another coin is generally bad, all things equal, because just another coin that you got to allocate resources to. But actually, maybe he's got a big supply sink coming up. So that's the question mark. Has he got a big supply sink coming up for ProveX, let alone the 5 Richard cores on Pulse Chain? Obviously, there's EHEX over on Ethereum as well. The other thing, of course, is does he put any pools over on Ethereum? That's the other thing I guess we're looking at as there as well. I don't think we've seen anything like that yet. I'm going to have a quick look again on that. So most of the value seems to be on the Pulse Chain side. So it seems to be a very key direction, key signal from Richard in that regard. And also, some people obviously put in the camp that, they think, because the tokens really haven't had a big, despite Richard making all these chess moves over the last year or so, because the chain's down so hard, that Richard hasn't really had a big win. He hasn't really secured his glory, so to speak. But at the end of last year, Richard said, hey, look, I'm launched in Pulse Chain season, so we know he's still just signaling to the market that he's still focused on, with all these chess moves, on getting Pulse Chain to be a winning chain. And of course, we know the mega themes out there are very bullish for Pulse Chain, as supportive around Ethereum, tokenization, stablecoins, AI agents, all that stuff that's going to pump crypto. And that Pulse chain is getting itself set up as well. So we don't know he's working on that. He's obviously working on the privacy theme, which is a big theme. Obviously, we've got Liberty Swap doing that too. Liberty Swap's going to be a big first adopter of ProveX, right? They've already said that. And they're building out, obviously, a massive DeFi ecosystem, right? Multi-chain. So that's kind of well in the ProveX. So will we get some speculation? Will we get that happening? Will ProveX and possibly the cause be used for the wallet, upcoming wallet, or perhaps more likely a stable coin? And is that what the heck is that what Liberty Swap's talking about? Is Liberty Swap obviously connected to Richard in some way? We know Crypto Sparbook's there. Is there some channel through Europe there? We obviously know there's Captain RG3 and all those guys have some sort of back channel to Richard, perhaps. So these are sort of some of the things that are going on with the iPad promotions and all that sort of stuff. So a couple of speculations there based on what we've seen. But that could be, short-term pain for Piggy. Maybe there's mega gain coming up. That's what Richard's focused on. And he's got to, I guess, shape up the chain and assets to do that. So we'll keep a lookout for that. So some of the speculations there at the moment on the old ProveX. Let's see what else. We've got any more comments in the chat here. Valiant says Liberty Swap and Jacob should maybe talk. Hey, Valiant, I think that's an excellent idea. I don't know Jacob's definitely talking to some other teams out there around Oracles and other stuff out there. We know where Stu's got Signum coming, but Liberty Swap would definitely be a key player there. Maybe he's already in contact with them. I don't know, but that would be a good idea. We got DGN in the house there, 5555. Hey, absolutely. Diamond hand there, DGN. We got Goody in the house there, ProveX or PDI. ProveX, that's no ProveX there. Well, if you like the speculative wild play, then PDI, but if you wanted to be the more solid capital movements, then probably ProveX there if you want to potentially preserve capital. The question is, when do you buy, Good? When do you buy, right? I still think it's still too early for that. Now, some of the speculation also around, obviously we talk about protocols using these tokens. That would be pretty bullish, right? Because that get rid of a lot of supply and it would be a bullish utility. But secondly, and there'll be sort of yield in that too, yield offerings, is will Richard do something to the chart to make a winner? So that's the other sort of speculation out there. Will Richard want to get a win, want to get some glory? We know that people like B-Roots out there, saying PDC is the winner, and it's Richard has to show his glory and do something. So ProveX is kind of the main the one to do it with, right? Well, obviously we've still got Hex out there. Hex got thin liquidity. Hex can be moved quite easily. And now we've got another token to concern ourselves with, tied to the technology, of course, to ZKX type technology. But will Richard do something to this chart over and above the market? Well, he first of all, let's let the market do what it's going to do. They're going to dump. He puts in a decent amount of liquidity, about 10% of the sacrifice raised, and over $2 million, $2.4 million, and then he lets the dumpers dump and see who's left, and then maybe within a week's time or something, he pumps the chart, right? So and does some shaping of the chart, let's say. So that's another thing. So we have another big applications coming up. Maybe not next week. Maybe within 4 to 6 weeks, maybe something like that. Or do we start getting a little bit of pump in the chart and excitement in the chart, and that's bullish. And that capital can fly over to Pulse Chain to participate if people think that things are on the rise there with the old ProveX. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, the smallest liquidity pool is still Hex. Hex is still the easiest one to move, but of course, ProveX is the exciting new thing with the frontier privacy and disintermediation of centralized exchanges. So it is a pretty big deal technology-wise. Is it as big a deal as Hex was when Hex first launched as a supercharged certificate of deposit? Obviously, Hex now faces a lot of competition in the yield space, a lot of competition. So that's, a price pump on Hex would be helpful with that. So there's, a couple of things to think about there. But getting rid of supply might be the next big move. I don't know. It just seems like the logical next big move is to get rid of Richard Hart coins, 5 coins, and maybe a wallet in the stablecoin is one of the ways to do that through sacrifice or collateralization or staking. those sort of things, just getting rid of supply somehow. And burning too, we've got to burn, baby, burn. Some people sacrifice for other people's gain. That's how markets work, So there's some losers and some winners, right? Okay, not everything's always a zero sum game, a loss, But there we go. We got so that's ProveX right now ticking away, and the market cap sitting around just under 80 mil. It's a very important crossroads right now, and it's still very early, right? We're only one day into it. We just ticked over there one day. So not bad. Let's go to the hourly chart here, and that is the hourly. If we go from the first day to where we are now, it's 1 hour, 1 day and 1 hour almost. So it's kind of the play. If we go from the opening, let me close out of here actually. Where does it go? And then we're still up. What's that? Up 66% from the open there. So yeah, early days. It's got a solid amount of liquidity. The performance is holding up solid. We've obviously at a pretty key crossroads. We'll see whether it's going to try and break to the upside. It's got to break 6,600, and to hold the downside, it's got to hold 5,900. So it's got some decision to make. Probably make it in the next day or two. We'll see. It might just trade sideways a little bit. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. But I think a lot of the sacrifices, unless they just want their little profit or break even, then they're better just to hold and wait and see. And I think a lot of people might wait and see what Richard's got up and stored there, and when the technology rolls out and all that stuff. So that's kind of the play there on that. All right, so let's have a look at the charts on Pulse Chain. Before we do that, let's have a look at the overview of Richard Hart coins. And we might check up on some other stuff on ProveX after we've had a look at the market. So we're just going to have a little break from ProveX, and we're going to look at the market results for Pulse Chain. So let's do that, and then we're going to come back and have a look at what some of the people were saying about ProveX out in the market there, like we did yesterday. All right, so we're on day 1039. We got Pulse Chain just dropping below that 4 zeros as we're doing the live stream, down 5% at 50996. So we're battling around that 401 mark. Again, damn it. We got PulseX at the moment at 5075. We're down 5% there as well. We've obviously got Ink Token there down 3.7%, 45 cents. And we've also got the PHEX down at 1.8 cents there, down 8.6%. And EHEX there looking pretty juicy for pickups if you like the old ETH side. It has been performing pretty well over the last 6 weeks or so relative to PHEX, but it's down at the moment quite solidly, so might be able to pick up some of that. So that's at 00065. We've got CryptoJack says, I love zero knowledge printer. Staken in ProveX, yeah, that's from Kairos, yeah. People were talking about that for sure. It was the first product out on ProveX, built on ProveX. All right, so let's have a look here. So that is the overall view again, and we'll just recheck that again, but we're going to look at the 24-hour results and see what's recovering. So we have Morbius. Morbius is a gaming. I think they got just launched a poker game. We'll probably hear more about that in the future. That's Morbius there from Kyle. He's a good guy, and that's up 24% now on the old Morbius. Have a little look at that chart, shall we? And yeah, had a nice little rally off the bottom there. So we're going to get down to 406,000, rallied all the way to 409, almost lost a zero. Not bad. A zero would have been up here. Let's have a look at the daily chart on this. Hasn't been around for too long. Up it goes, sort of pulled up, got pushed up with some volume there, and then up it goes. So actually, it's done pretty well. Actually, some nice volume coming in there too. There's a retail play, of course. Liquidity's 11k, 4k in volume today. Market cap 85, and this is bringing us gaming. Yeah, gaming, I'm pretty sure. Morbius powers Pulse Chain's advanced token analysis platform and casino-style gaming. So as you guys know, it's good to see more gaming coming out, right, on the old Pulse Chain. We're kind of, it's an evolving sector there. And Kyle's got a pretty good reputation, so that's a good thing. We got Top Hat from Crypto Coffee. That's number 2 today. Tied into the Peacock too, right? So that's up 9.5%. He doesn't promote it that much, actually, that I've seen. I mean, I don't really seen him do too much promotion, but it's sitting at 1/10 of a penny. I don't know whether when we get a bull run on, he probably might end up promoting it. It's probably the case. Baseline says bullish on Morbius staking and yield coming soon. Yeah, keep a lookout for Morbius, guys. From Kyle, he's a well-respected community member, doing some good gaming and tokenomic stuff there. Definitely worth looking at, and you'll probably hear more about it, like I say. Top Hat in the house. Top Hat there sitting at 1/10 of a penny. Kind of moved sideways for a very long time. This is the daily candles. We might go to the weekly candles. There's a decent amount of chart time there. So it's obviously come down, but it's holding in this range pretty for a long time, many months now, all the way since about November last year. So there we go, 1/10 of a penny. Now, if coffee started to really promote it, it's probably going to move, right? Because he's probably one of the few pulse chain influencers that can move markets if he really tried. That's kind of the way I look at it. Now, we have small project leaders that do a lot of project launches, and they're quite good at getting people to buy. They have like a whole ton of buying guys that follow them, like a team of buyers. But Top Hat Crypto Coffees definitely can do that. But he hasn't really been doing it at the moment in the bear market conditions, which probably makes sense. So there we go. Just let it trade, right? Just let it trade. So that's pretty much it. UFO from PDC. That is up almost 8% on the UFO. Obviously, the child or the brother or sister or something of PDC. We got Sun Minimal still holding around 5.5 cents. They're supposed to be going to Solana, but they're still here. I don't know what's happening with that. They're supposed to have that. What's it called? I keep having the wrong letter on it. Floin is the word. Floin exchange is kind of like 12,000 high-level investors on a financial platform, and they're going to be getting it regulated, going up through the regulator ranks in the EU, because the EU's ridiculous regulated. 7.25% up at the moment on that. That's still holding. PC the Greys is on a comeback after being sold off. PC was one of the ones that got rotated. We saw a lot of top premium tokens get rotated slightly into probably ProveX is the case, because they're the ones that all were going down, and now it's going back up, right? So up 6.7%, because that's where these are the tokens that recently rallied, and so people had a bit of profits, and they were able to rotate a little bit. There's a few players. I mean, it doesn't take much to send these prices down, and of course rotate into the PRVX and take the risk, as it were. So PTC the Greys are back on the move. We also got Peacock back on the move too, about 5%, almost back at 1.7 cents. So these all had premiums in them, right? So some people get, I think who's it, Moon King maybe again, making comments about there's no one in the pulse chain that's wealthy anymore because it's all gone down so far, and so there's no one really to buy capital now. Obviously, that's a little facetious. Was it facetious? Facetious, is it facetious? Yeah. And but actually, people had premium value, so they rotate the ones they've actually made a bit of money on, and they go into the ProveX. So and it's only a few players, relatively speaking. So, but that's what's happening right now, 4.5%. We've got a Zero Trust there as well, tied into the Peacock. So a lot of Peacock ones moving all back up. And of course, why not? Because from my point of view, Liberty Swap is the Kraken, is the juggernaut on Pulse Chain now, and it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's kind of the play there. On that, Zero Trust is up 4%, another Peacock trifecta, PTC. So we're really getting the battle of these premium tokens. Sun Minimal would definitely be a Kraken on Pulse Chain, but they're supposed to be leaving, right? They got tens of millions of dollars sitting in their buying bin from their company. And that thing's an absolute juggernaut. So, but they're still here. So I need to catch up on that. But that is not much happening there at the moment. Right, so we got all those in the top 15, PDC and Peacock related tokens, and saw some Minimail and Morbius at the top. So congratulations to Morbius and Kyle, getting yourself a bit of limelight there with the old poker gaming and casino. What else is going on here? We got coming down to number 20. We got James Maria, the mysterious genius out there. Teddy Bear. Now, Teddy Bear, from James Maria's mind, was supposed to be a general meme coin reflective of the overall ecosystem that he'd built. And he'd launched waves of tokens and runs these, these smart contracts against it. And they're kind of just sitting there at the moment. So let's have a little look at some of those. But we've got mixed with, Treasury Bill, a Tropa, of course, another James Maria. These are kind of the pools there. All got decent liquidity, some of the biggest liquidities on the Pulse chain. They're sitting there up to number 24, but we will try and have a look at Teddy Bear in a minute. 9mm is up 0.5%. Our second biggest DEX. We only really got two main DEXs, PulseX and 9mm. They're ticking away, and they give about $20,000 a month to people holding 9mm, and they've also got secondary income going to NFT holders. So it's kind of that right now. And if we do get a run, a mega uptrend on Pulse, then the DEXs always get re-rated, right? So 9mm get re-rated, the amount of revenue generate get re-rated, all that. But of course, we're not there yet, right? We're at the bottom of the market, arguably trying to hold on to 401 for goodness sake. But if we do that, we did finally get that uptrend, and that's what Richard's working on, then it's game on, right? What else? We got Phoenix in there, another one. I think they got tied into the Peacock revenue thing as well. They're up 0.5%, and then True Farms, right? True Farms managing to make it there, number 29. So True Farms there from we've got Neil that's in there. Neil's well recognized community member, and Daniel as well. They have started this quasi index fund buying ecosystem on the Pulse chain, and they're particularly bought into the farms, Emmett Farm. They then launched their own farm with Emmett Farm, that's Kairos. Now, Kairos is also the one doing the new token, this new protocol, staking protocol, Zero Knowledge Printer, where you stake the token and earn ProveX. So they're doing that too. And so these guys are actually doing quite a lot of innovation in the farming and staking area between Kairos and True Farm. And so they've got their own farm up at the moment. And of course, those fees go into their original product, which is a pulse miner, which is basically the idea to get your 2x pulse. And I think last week was the first time they had people actually get their 2x in pulse. So that seems to be working there. They're pushing new concepts there. And the idea is that the system miners end up taking over a lot of the protocol, which is pretty interesting. That would give it a lot of strength. That's basically the idea. So it is there's a bit of an experiment along the sort of indexing type of things or index funds, but it is doing. It looks like it's doing fairly well with that concept so far. So pretty encouraging signs, and they're going to only continue to grow their DeFi. So True Farm there as well. What else there? We got a few others. We're going to go down here now. Doubt Token, of course, tied itself with Peacock, so a pretty active community there. They were straight on the gun with that one. One of the top meme coins. They don't have the advantage of having utility behind it. You know how Peacock has Liberty Swap. They don't have that, right? So it's all driven by community, and they're one of the top tokens, excluding any utility, right? They don't have reflection tokens either, all lots of stuff. As far as I know, they are supported in some farms and other stuff, so they do have third-party token support in that sense. But apart from that, now we've got Finvestor from OG WebChef, kind of another big liquidity pool setup, bot setup. But it's $1.47 right now. Kind of, just sitting out there as the old OGs, OG web chefs. What else we got going down there? We're going screaming down here. We've got all the same peers. So let's look here, down here. A lot of trading peers, all slightly out. Let me scroll down. We've got SCADA down here with Nuclear Supply, a really innovative niche team on Pulse Chain, offering some real good value with DeFi experimentation, but done pretty well, I think. And Nuclear Supply and now SCADA down 2%. Yeah, I haven't looked at the SCADA chart there, but that's down a little bit. Now everyone loves the P die. Well, not everybody, but Pump Tires die. I don't know. I think as Pump Tires die, a better play. Pump Tires die 00015. It's down 2.5%. Let's have a look at the Pump Tires die. Now there's also a good die, right? It's from Matty Allen. It's good die. Are we gonna have evil die? Maybe P die is evil die. P die is evil die. We got 4 zeros 9,300. We came off the bottom and we're now at 00015. But that's on the weekly charts. But let's have a look at the pulse ratio. We were down, kind of down. We've been down around 10. We're at 15, so not too bad. But certainly needs a breakup, to get some action there. But maybe it's set up for a breakup soon. That's the old pump tires die. So many tokens, right? So many. If we collapsed all these tokens into a few tokens, then it'd be a lot easier to move up and down in some ways. So let's scroll down all the way down because it keeps flying back up. What else we were looking at? We looked at Dow token. Remembered here, but I want to go down into. We've got Sparta down 5% right now. Unity down 5% right now. These are from Cryptographics, and the Hex guy. I forgot his name right now. He's got a funny name, Hex name. We got Hex down here as well, down 7%. DevC Coin, which was a bit of a star the other day, that's down 7% right now. ProveX has moved down. So ProveX was at the top yesterday all day, but now it's moved down. It's down 8%, and it's moved down all the way down to 86 to 89 to 90. Poor little ProveX there. Vouch. Now, Vouch has been hurt lately, right? Vouch, our top Pulse chain validator. Now, obviously, Pulse is down and validating is not that profitable, but it's a really brilliant idea, the Vouch. Let's have a look at the data there. But really, it's been hurt lately with volume. Probably got a bit of rotation yesterday too, affected by rotation. And then we had this big sell-off down here that really hurt the price. But that is Vouch right now. And obviously a turnaround in Pulse is going to mean a turnaround in Vouch too, just like the DEXs, right? So all the validators and DEXs should all get a turn to the upside where Pulse gets revalued. But Pulse is struggling to get back over, lose that zero. But we're going to get back over the 21 moving average on the 4 hourly and, of course, on the day, which is all about the same price. So around 10, 20, let's say, with 4 zeros. And let's see where we go. I'm actually feeling fairly optimistic despite the short-term impact in ProveX there. Watching out for Richard's chess moves, right? Richard's chess moves there. So that is Vouch. What else have we got going? Let's go all the way back down. It keeps scrolling to the top, doesn't it? Notice? X game down here, 11%. ProveX, more than other peers there. Smorg down 26%. Liberty down 15%. But let's have a look at Smorg. I'm not endorsing any of these tokens. Remember, we're just going through the top 100 as we do. And then we're going to check out the ProveX, what people say in the community around ProveX. That's our next topic. So, Smorg here had a nice little run. Got 000 5800 now at 24, so it's down quite a bit. Market 157, and inspired by the dragon beneath the lonely mountain. Smorg, structured deflationary token with 4 independent buy and boom mechanisms. Tokenomics 6.5% tax, so higher than the PGC. That's kind of where we are right now, down 3%. Pulse Chain DGen says PUSD and algo outgoes. Yeah, you and I are both waiting for that. We're excited about that. But the next update was from Stu. He was going to give us an update on the weekend, on the Friday. I don't think he came through with that. I think he means well, but sometimes he misses his own deadlines. So let's have a look here I'm going into Telegram right now, trying to have a look for a update. Yeah, we did get the update. Oh no, we didn't. So last update was the 23rd. We did get an update. Basically, you guys are top notch. What's the date now? The date's the 16th. So it does appear the last update we had was. Where's my comment? I had a comment in here too. It seems to have disappeared. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but so I'm in Signum. Sorry, wrong group. Let me go to Tetra. Tetra here. Tetra. We were supposed to have an update here on. I went to select Tetra and I ended up in an X game. Funny enough. I'm just scouring the Telegram. Good. I'll have an update at the end of the week. So end of the week. So that's still Sunday. He's still on Sunday. He's still got half a day or something to go. So we may have an update from Stu around the Oracle. He's got a lot of projects that he's working on. We hopefully we'll get there. As you guys know, Signum is required. It's an Oracle, like Fetch Oracle from Liquid Loans for PUSD Algo. And we haven't had an update for PUSD Algo since the update on the 2nd of December last year. So that was the last update. So that is now, 2.5 months ago. Yeah, 2.5 months. No, 3.5 months ago. And that was one of the key things, was relying on the Signum Oracle. And they were optimistic that'd be close, but it's not. Here we are, 2.5 months. So I don't know. This maybe Stu's just taken on too much stuff. There's too many projects, and it's all bogging him down. He's got a lot of stuff he's working. That's crazy stuff. So we will try and keep up to date with that. But we should get an update hopefully by Monday. So we might have an update tomorrow. I'll definitely try and talk about that if I remember. All right. So that's kind of it. But PUSD Algo. Yeah, I mean, we're expecting that to be the flagship, right, for the old Jacob projects. He's obviously got Mafia and On-Chain Bet as well that he's working on. He's got a big team, though, so it's not just like himself. With Stu, I think is I think he's almost by himself. I think he might have someone else working with him, but it's pretty small. All right, bring on the Sigma Oracle. That's all we can say. So there we go. Oh, looks like Peacock's moved a little bit higher too. We're at 1.7 cents now, getting a bit of a rebound in the old Peacock. And why not? You guys know what's happening with Peacock coming up, right, this week? Sorry, and not this week, at the end of March, is they've got their wallet coming, guys. I mean, that's a heavyweight. These guys just cheap dropping big heavyweights. The market, it still hasn't broken out. It got kept down from, I think, got the 2.2 of a penny. So it still really hasn't broken that 2 cent mark. But it's like, I think it's building up. We'll see. Certainly looking positive in the charts there. All right, so that is kind of stuff there. So we got the wallet coming from Peacock. It's the next big thing. We've got limit orders coming too for Liberty X. They also added ProveX, remember, to the charts on the old Peacock. So it's kind of cool. Now, we will come back to some of that, how we're doing for time. We're an hour in the live. So let's go and have a look at some of the comments around ProveX. We're going to look at some of our some people that, influencers and community people that may talk about it. So we're going to go hunt them down. First of all, we're going to start with Richard, in case Richard's pushed anything out. Nothing out today, except for that one 13 hours ago. That was pretty much it. Let's have a look in that comment, see who else commented on that. I think we had, Crypto 7 was in there, Pulse Chain Storm. But let's have a look at Crypto Coffee was kind of commenting on stuff, wasn't he? So we'll have Crypto Coffee. Crypto Coffee. Somewhere, Crypto Coffee. Crypto Coffee. Coffee, come on. Where's he? Oh, there he is there. So Crypto Coffee, PRVX, he posted a little video on that. I guess what is PRVX? So a bit of promotional video, fresh PRVX chart on the stables and ETH pairs. So did a little bit of sort of informing, educative type videos on that. Got $2 million stables and ETH pair there. They're obviously going to be people who dump immediately. Sounds like the thought was to decouple sell pressure from Pulse and absorb short-term sellers. It would be fun to see a large part of the LP delivery removed after a few days when short-term sellers have died down. There's coffee. After zooming in an absurd amount, I found the ProveX price. So this is some of the comments from Crypto Coffee. We're going to go to Crypto Solve. He was doing a lot of stuff around the pools. I think I've already got him in here somewhere. Crypto Solve. So we'll have a little look at his stuff. He normally provides some nice insights. Now he had quite critical comments around that. It says, as predicted, the launch of ProveX is so far a liquidity drain on the ecosystem. Lots of cores getting rotated into new shiny objects, and few large sacrifices taking advantage of this by dumping. Now that was certainly the true early on, and we saw that in the chart going down. So that's definitely profit taking there. Now the question is whether the money leaves Pulse Chain. That's the bigger question, right? It's the difference between if the money gets sold down and sits in stable coins or ETH or something like that. But it's a difference between whether it actually leaves the chain, right? So that's the key part, right? That stays on chain is fine. They can go buy something else or something, what to say? A few perfect examples of this. We had the wallet there, rotated 23 million hex into ProveX, and it's sitting on an unrealized profit of 3K. This wallet here has rotated 11 million hex into ProveX, and we saw hex definitely get hurt, right? It definitely got hurt in the price there, and has plenty of more ammo. These are just two examples from wallets we actively track. There will be plenty of others. Previews of Proteus routes show that anytime someone dumps cores to chase ProveX, the price of all cores gets dumped versus US dollars. Well, we saw that happen, didn't we? As all routes, in fact, it was almost 19% on Pulse. I mean, it's pretty brutal. Pretty brutal. So as all routes eventually lead to Pulse, to stables, ETH, and the ProveX, this will likely settle down after the initial hype. And we're kind of at that crossroads now on the chart. We saw that on ProveX. This is the chart right now. We're sitting at 62, so we're just under 80 million market cap. It's at the crossroads of making a decision here. It's got lower lows here, but still a higher low. So we're waiting for that the decision to be made, right, for the market. Is it worth? Is it going to be is it worth more? Is it worth the same? Is it going to be dumped? And most likely, it's my guess to the downside. That's my guess there. But you never know. Maybe a market maker comes in. That excludes anything Richard Hart does if he does something. But I don't think he'll do something for a bit longer yet. All right, so let's crypto solve. This will likely settle down after the initial hype, but for now, people rotating cores and PRVX are feeding a handful of mid-range sack bags that have already dumped for stables and bridged out, and that's the problem, right? That is the problem. So, problem is we get another token. Problem is we get, and this is Richard, why he asked the question about, give me some ideas about liquidity. Obviously, he's gone for the stablecoin thing, and they bridged them out for and bridged out. That's the worry, is that we get that happening. Remember that a big part of the sacrifice was, I think it was 80% or so, was it? Was on Ethereum. And so, yeah, there'll be a lot of Pulse Chain people, but there'll be a lot of non-Pulse Chain people that participate in that for the spec, right, on the Richard Hart. There's plenty of speculators out there willing to do that. All right, so ProveX is the otherwise decorrelated with the cause, given pairing only with stables and ETH, and we talked about that earlier, that how it was compared to the Richard cause, other cause was mostly in stables and ETH dominating. But the trading behavior of those chasing opportunity will continue ripping the Band-Aid off for a while yet. Band-Aid 1 was dumped to sack. Band-Aid 2 is now dumped to chase green candles. So there we go. X was undoubtedly seen the worst of the beating and is currently down 75% from sack day 1. So there we go. Some reasonable comments there. Emmett says from Chorus, Band-Aid was to dump to sack, Band-Aid 2 is to dump to chase green candles. The sequential extraction phases being named and tracked means the community can finally see the end of the bleeding rather than just feeling it. That's from Emmett, probably our top farm on Pulse Chain. We got all cores from Louis Sop, the Pulse, the Stables ETH to ProveX. Good entries for all other coins, and CryptoSoul says as long as they bounce at some point for sure. So we did see a bit of a bounce, right, overnight in the last couple of hours. What's funny, says Martin, is these two wallets are some of the OGs and well-known Hexkins. They usually are, says CryptoSoul. Hey, look, people like to hold Hexkins and other people to account, but hey, look, it's a free market. People do what they want. I mean, really, come on. This DeFi was supposed to be the freedom chain as well. So as bad as it can be for others, it's still part of the, we're either freedom chain or we're not. You're not freedom. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do that until I make money. It's kind of like that, right? Traybrush says, yeah, got a weird yet hopeful feeling they get obliterated. If not, then a concerning situation where indeed that would be cool, but history hasn't exactly rewarded patience, is Crypto Solve. So there's some comments there. There's lots of other comments in there, but that's pretty interesting. So that was a good piece there from Crypto Solve, and just a couple of anecdotal evidences there for the charts. So we looked at Crypto Coffee, looked at Crypto Solve. Now yesterday we tried to find out if Somi had made any comments, and he wasn't on deck. He was writing about general crypto and economic type of things. But let's see if he actually wrote some stuff on that over the last half a day or something. So let's see where we go here. I'm going to go down, scroll down. He posts quite a lot, right? So Somi is the hybrid. He's the evolutionary form, if you're into that, between humans and AI humanoid robots. The amount of posting he does. Bitcoin has done 7 daily green candles in a row. It's a magical disbelief rally coming soon. But let's scroll up here and see if we've got anything around ProveX, which is kind of the focus of what we're doing here. Mostly around Bitcoin, ETH. In fact, it's funny, he's actually relatively kept away from talking about ProveX, which has been interesting. Even here, he talks about Pulse Chain cores. It's kind of surprising. I'm very surprised at the lack of commentary there on ProveX. What else we got? We got a few others there. Now, Pulse alerts. We want to see, have we got any capital there? Alert says ProveX should do 750k volume to been 15k daily. Yeah, we'll see what that's like in the future. We had 112k bridged out. I think that person made about a 12% yield or something on the old ProveX, if I remember rightly. So that's kind of it on that. Who else would be good for some comments? RH Max, I don't know. He's normally covering it. I don't know if he's normally going to give us a commentary on it. I can't see him pulled up here anyway. So who else would be? We've looked at Coffee and Somi. Let's go Giga. Let's go Giga, some of the trader guys. We'll go for Giga. And we might even look at Matty Allen, see if he's made any comments. 12 hours ago, he says, I have a lot to say about ProveX, its launch and its liquidity, but I'll keep a lot of it to myself. There is a lot. Well, it's no use saying that and not telling everyone. It is, however, abundantly clear that this community will continue to use their cause to be exit liquidity of sacrifices, 2/3 of which are not even community. So that's kind of what I was alluding to. The largest and strongest crypto community in the world, and its potential is being suffocated daily. So he's not too happy about that. So we'll give that a like. Emmett says holding back what they know while sharing just enough to make every serious holder stop scrolling. Yeah. Partial reveal from somebody with real information is always more valuable than a full take from someone without it. Well, I don't know about that exactly, but I'll give it a like anyway. We got Runify says the tension between sacrifices exiting and community holders building is real, and it's been a story all along. It's got a little skull there. Strongest community in crypto and potential is right there if the exits stop drowning the momentum. Saying less and building more is usually the answer. I agree with that. That's definitely a good comment there. Brazology. Let's go to Brazology. He often has some different perspectives. So let's have a look at that. Looks like he's got some good comments. So let's scroll down here and we'll have a look at Briz. Briz is, of course, the OG of the OG. He was the first one at the first Hexkin meeting, I think in California, ever. I think, was it January 2020? I think somewhere like that. So scroll down here. We got ProveX isn't about the coin. The coin is just a bonus for when the tokenomics get done. Yeah, and I agree with that. That's why we could see a re-rating at some stage. Laughing at the price on day one is myopic. What else we got there? A little video of something. We got 5 hours ago. The market crashed for 2 more weeks, then recovered all the highs. He's talking about the ETH chart there. Well, I think ETH is looking very good in the charts. We just saw that. Chairman Buck. So Chairman Buck is obviously, he was the one that ran, one of the 2 guys that ran the big public sacrifice for ProveX, and they distributed their tokens very quick within minutes of the LP launch from Richard. Note to ProveX Jeets, please Jeet as soon as possible. Rackham and I both want to own more ProveX. Help us. So that's what he says there. And obviously, Buck got a huge amount of tokens for free doing the facilitation. Now, you just decide whether it was too much or not, but it is what it is, and that's markets. That's how markets work. We talked about freedom. Freedom. All right. So Brazology responds to that and says, call out the Jeets. Surely no one will remember that Bunkermental's got 10 to 50% of everyone's bonus coins at a zero cost basis. Yeah, so that's criticism. Now, he did provide a service. So, you just have to decide, was it too much or not? Now, you can say that. I mean, it's still freedom, but was it too much or not? And, of course, zero cost in a sense. Now, they have a little bit of cost, and, they've got to set up the sacrifice process and website and things. But, apart from that, when the price goes lower than everyone's breakpoint, but there is still a guy who dumps, just remember he took advantage of everyone. So, obviously quite critical of that. Richard really messed up with the multiplier bonus again. It pulls too much power and power corrupts. Well, the whole idea of that was to incentivize people to compete in the sacrifice levels. So that's does work on that point, but of course it does give too much power. I agree with that. Good job to everyone who gave Buck a bunch of free coins for asking his Fiverr dev. That's pretty funny to spin up a pool. Your break even might be 408. Buck's break even point is probably 401. It's probably almost basically zero, isn't it? Close to it. Not quite if you include the costs, but that would be true. So that's some of the stuff going on there. Now he alluded to Bunkermentals, so we might go check out Bunkermentals as well. Bunkermentals, Bunkermentals. Let's go look. So obviously, Bunkermentals was set up. Now, the one thing with Bunkermentals is that they do deliver their products, right? They do deliver their services. That people have the freedom to participate or not. It is what it is. They do provide a service there to get the retail book, the top, top multiplier. So I mean, it is what it is. So we got some of that. So let me have a look at some of that. That's obviously the post that he responded to. Congrats to Richard on launching the ProveX stuff. So that was kind of cool. Now he did allude to Rackham Rochelle. So we might go look at Rackham. and see whether Rack and Michelle's made any comment on that. I haven't actually looked at them since I've been back from holiday. Or back from illness, actually. I was ill, wasn't I? And then before that holiday. So we'll have a look to see where he's got some. Remember, I waited to purchase ProveX. Now, he obviously indicated he was talking about taking the number one sacrifice back in the day, and now he's talking about I waited to purchase ProveX. I'm not quite sure what he means by all that. Yeah, so that doesn't. Have we got any other comments? Yeah, no, nothing much. Okay, I thought there would be more there. So they must have been in X space or something. Maybe they're talking about Bucket Mendels and Rack were talking about buying up ProveX. In any case, the price at ProveX at the moment is slightly up during the live stream. We're now at around 80 million, but we've been battling around this time during the last hour or so. So we're still around 80 million, and that's still above what I think is a fair value range of 60 to 75. But we'll see. The market will decide ultimately. That's just my point of view. That is the ProveX there. Let's anyone else we got there? Let's have. We've got Marco in the house. What is the Pulse ProveX ratio right now? Is it good to swap or wait? I'm in the camp of waiting, Marco. So we have got. I think the ProveX is at a decision point. The moment it's sort of deciding to the upside. I think we've got to break out we've got to break out maybe 6,600 on the price and 5,900 on the low side. But I just feel like it's overvalued without the technology, doing its thing, just as a token. So it's got pretty solid liquidity. So we'll give it that. We don't see too many dumper metals going on at the moment, but it's at that crossroads, and we're still only just coming to day two, right? To start day two, so it's still pretty early. Once again, you have to do your own decision. You can hear my own opinions, but there's just one opinion you should think about. What else? We're going to go. I want to check out a few more. We're going to Matty Allen, right? We're going to go to Matty Allen. Let's try Matty. I've got to make sure I spell his name right, though. There he is, Matty. So Matty, let's see. That was that he just did the launch. The launch was launched. Okay, well, we got that. Launch was launched. Who else can we go and hunt down that might have a good opinion about ProveX? That might be interesting. We did Giga. There's Execute, right? Maybe Execute. He's another TA sort of X space guy, sort of trader guy. So let's see. Hopefully I've got the right guy. He's covering Morbius actually with the gaming. Shout out to Fire Kyle. This looks dope. So yeah, so this is Kyle. This is the one that's doing Morbius, and he's got this new casino / he's just launched poker, which is kind of cool, or blackjack table. So there we are on PulseX.fun. PulseX.fun. That's Kyle. So that's who we're talking about. Morbius. He's the founder of that. I made Morbius just for you. How about that? So that is Kyle. Go give him a check out there. KC Crypto 369 it is. And you can play, looks like you can play blackjack amongst other things. Get a table made for your community as well. So if you've got a community, a token community or something, you can go make your own table. There we go. Kind of a similar idea that what Jacob had for, his Pulse pot and BNB pot and soon to be on-chain bet, right? Must be getting pretty close. So that is from him. We didn't have anything from Execute. Who else might give us some good stuff? Well, we had Crypto 7. He was definitely talking about it. He didn't sacrifice. He was pretty open about that. Crypto 7. Hopefully is he going to come up? Crypto 7. 7. No, it's not Crypto 7. Not coming up there. I don't know why. Probably something to do with the way I've... maybe it's 7 with the 7 on it. Who else is pretty interesting? So we'll think about it. We'll go through all those. Couldn't find RH Max. He may have been talking about it. RH Max. We know there's critical people. I'm not going through the critical ones. I know 3 or 4 large pulse chain influencers that have become rather antagonistic against Richard now. And look, they've got some good points, but we're not in it to. we're in for the bullish view of the world, and that Richard's making moves, and we'll be fine in the end. Those that hold on the longest, right? It's like a rodeo. You're riding that bull. You got to just hold on until the main play has happened, right? Crypto always has a main play, and so that's kind of where we are right now. I'm just trying to think through some of the others that we're going to do. Yeah, a lot of the others I know won't be saying too much about it probably, but just running through all these different names in my head. All right, so let's just do one more. We'll do one more quick check. We'll just put the ticker in and see what comes up. In terms of comments, obviously the Kryptonite show is covering it. We obviously talked about the pools already with getting some cool pools set up. Peacock and PGC, Doubt Token, even some smaller projects like SCADA, True Farm in there. Here's RH Max. We found RH Max, so that's kind of cool. What are the chances ProveX does really well? We had a few other comments in there. Alpha Baller, do we really want to start ProveX chart like this? Oh, that was the bad chart. That wasn't the Richard Hart one. Yeah, I don't see any others in there. Pulse Chain Stats. Pulse Chain Stats did a bit of coverage, didn't they? And some of the information sites did as well. We might pull up Pulse Chain Stats, talk about them. But a couple of the other information sites were also talking about ProveX. But I want to go to RH Max. Let's see if he's got anything in the mix. No, nothing really. So, it's what's been very surprising. Maybe it's the weekend, it's Sunday, but with very, very low amount of coverage. In fact, this channel is the only channel that's been doing video coverage that I've seen so far. I could be wrong, but we certainly were. It's been surprising the lack of coverage. Let's have a look on this. What else there? 3 hours ago. No, yeah. What have we got there? Something about Pulse Chain. This chart here that people love. 26 is supposed to be up there, I guess. 5 hours ago, since ProveX SAC was announced and launched, X is down nearly 80% from it. Really? I don't know what they're talking about there. Direct sell pressure caused from ProveX is in low liquidity environment. I'm a tiered boss. Yeah, well, we already know that Hex has the lower liquidity, right, with 1.6 million. So, it got the heaviest rotation from large players, and so therefore it got hit pretty hard, right? Emmett says direct sell pressure from ProveX participants rotating in X, the X system cannibalizing its own assets. Well, we saw this last year when we did the capital raise, right? People selling into stables and stuff, sacrificing that on Pulse Chain and bridging over to Ethereum and sacrificing over there too. Bizarre behavior. The X system cannibalizes its own assets during a launch. It's uncomfortable. Yeah, it's not helpful. Maybe it goes the other way once ProveX pumps, says DJ. Well, that's the idea, right? Green candles attracts capital. That's the idea. Now, I'll jump past that one there. Jump past that. That's pretty much it. All right, so that was Pulse Chain Stats. Not too bad. Not too bad there on that. All right, so that is pretty much it. We have RH Max and surprise. He hasn't done more coverage. Probably busy in the weekend. Probably the case. So that is where we are right now. Let's have a look at some of the big performers in the last hour. PGC, True Farm, ProveX making a bit of a bounce there. PulseX made a bit of a bounce. Zero, they're kind of doing pretty well right now. Last 6 hours. Morbius, True Farms, DFC, PGC, doing pretty well there as well. Last 24 hours, we got Morbius leading away. So, congratulations to Kyle there. Still a small market cap, 85, but, building up a casino gaming site. So it's kind of neat. A bit of move on Liberty and Top Hat. Sun Mini Meals hanging around. And True Farm there, PDC, Top Hat, Peacock in the top 10, along with Zero Just, up about 6%. So those are the ones that are getting a bit of recovery from a slight rotation. Well, actually, they had a decent rotation yesterday, but they're back. They're back there. Back as best friends, besties, best friends forever, guys. Best friends forever. All right. So where's Pulse right now? Pulse is sitting at 50996, just below 4 zeros. Let's see it can get back over that 21 moving average of 1020 and move up. Right, move up. ProveX is moving slightly to the upside right now, but it's still in that decision zone. And that decision zone is this level here, 6,600 to the upside and 5,900 to the bottom side. I think that it's probably going to break down without any other, all things equal, no other news. no other move by Richard. Maybe Richard doesn't make a move for a week. If he does make a move, maybe it's 6 weeks later. He's definitely making chess moves, but it's just the pacing. Of course, we don't know what he's going to do. We're not in his brain, not in his brain. But that's kind of the zone right now. And of course, the market cap is kind of my guide there. I just kind of feel that relative to Pulse, which has got the blockchain running and everything running on it, PulseX, which is the biggest DEX and it's got all the activity running on there. Ink token's kind of I kind of find it a dead token, but hey, look, it's the market's deciding it's worth 26 mil, and that can have upside potentially with the Master Chef and other things that Richard could do. And of course, then we've got Hex, which is supercharged certificate deposit, has a huge community, but and was one of the top 5 coins last season, but is in a competitive field for yield, so therefore needs a price pump in the old Hex to get that up. So that's kind of the play there on the moment. Small liquidity, easily rotated. We saw that, so it is a little vulnerable, but I'm still very bullish about its future, obviously with the Richard Hart roadmap. And so here we are at 80 mil right now. I just still feel that it's still a bit overvalued in my view, but the market will decide. If we get some news around the protocol, then that could be up and away, right? So it would be an easy win for Richard to move ProveX if at the moment, because it's the latest shiny thing and is on the frontier of privacy and trading. We'll keep a lookout for that, and it could very much move to the upside. So we're at the crossroads decisions right now, as I say. So let's see what happens there, and where we go from there. So that is some of my thoughts at the moment. So let's see which decision, which one, eh? Which one's going to happen? Come on, or is it just going to move sideways and just not do too much? Will some of the sacrifices get nervous hands and weak hands and say, "Oh, I can't really hold. I'm not really a holder. I'm going to sell." Got lots of different variables they're moving. But in any case, what we want to see, if Pulse actually goes up over that 21 moving average, then that I think is generally a good thing for ProveX to the upside. So that's probably another supporting variable there. And liquidity is pretty decent. So some people are going to be after 3 to 5x, 10x before they start selling, right? That'll be the other side of things. So lots of cool stuff happening, and we'll keep up to date what Richard might be doing. So those are some of my thoughts there. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. We're up about an hour and a half. We're going to keep going for the next 3 minutes, just to round it off at a cool 90 minutes, and so on. Let's have a look at the crypto market. Crypto market, just as a couple of insights there, is looking very good. So Bitcoin at the moment on a Sunday, normally Sunday is often a flat or down day. Well, it's an up day for the majors. Bitcoin up 2.5% at 72,800. Ethereum there up 4.7%. Pretty strong move at 21.88, but still has to bust through the 2,200 once and for all, right? So had a couple of attempts, needs to do that, but looking very good. Now, what's the big news coming out on Monday? So this won't be today, but tomorrow, US time, we have the announcements of Michael Saylor and Strategy, how much Bitcoin they purchased over the last week. We know it's going to be a big number. Last week it was 18,000. I think it could be close to 30,000, maybe 25 to 30,000. We know 11,500 was raised through the new preferred stock dividend yield of Stretch product. This is a game changer. This is only really lifted in the last 2.5 weeks. And this is going to look like it's going to be cannibalizing the traditional credit markets. This is a fundamental change, and I don't think it's going to slow down. I think it's just only going to go up because 11.5% yield is a lot better than 3 to 5% yield if you're lucky, right, in the credit market. So we are talking about a game changer here and a massive vampire attack from Michael Saylor into the credit markets, and it's a game changer. So this is going to be a very big deal, I think, in the market. We'll see how the rest of the market reacts to that as well. Ethereum is also coming out with its digital asset treasuries. The digital asset treasuries are leading the way right now in Bitcoin and Ethereum, along with a lot of big ETF products from BlackRock and other banks moving into and banks and advisories moving in. But the big one tomorrow also will be the update from Ethereum with Bitmine Immersion. They are going to be announcing their ETH acquisition, and we already know yesterday that they had acquired 5,000 from the ETH org. So we've got big stuff happening with these big players, and also previously at 30,000 ETH purchases as well. And I think it was through Kraken. and they are working with Kraken. Remember, Bitminer Immersion. This is a big mega play. This is the big picture item, and so we're expecting a bigger Ethereum number. Remember last time 61,000 last week. ETH was raised. Are they going up to 70, 80K? We'll see what happens. Are they going to do another 60K? But they have a massive amount of money, $1.2 billion in cash. How has that gone up? We know they've also spent 125 million on AI and digital ID technology to match off with their Mr. Beast financial app. So this is big stuff happening in the Ethereum play. We're about to get big announcements tomorrow on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we've already got the market rising in the front of that. So could be quite a good week. Even though we've got the Iran thing and the oil play, we're looking at some pretty big bullish news specific to the crypto markets. That itself could launch to lift the BitPulse chain as well this week. So look forward to that, folks. It is a big deal, and it's exciting. It's really a structural shift in the buying power of Bitcoin and Ethereum there by digital asset treasuries strategy, and Bitminer Immersion leading the way on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Exciting times. All right, hopefully you enjoyed that one. If you haven't subscribed, smash the subscribe button. If you haven't hit the follow button on X, definitely do it. And of course, if you love more daily alpha, definitely jump in the Strategy Club. You can see the QR code sitting there below me on the video. Just over $1 today to join up. Fantastic value. And I'm putting in through all the alpha there on the crypto market. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Pulse Chain. I'll be doing X1 and Solana. Get in there, folks. It is going to be an absolute crusher and a really good value for that. You can also find the links to the Strategy Club in the video description and on X at the top on the profile. You will go through the Whoop store. You can sign up there, and you'll show up in the private strategy club in our Discord. So we've got about 1,100 members in there, and come in and join the party. That's all I can say. All right, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you I might do another live stream later today, but I'll definitely catch you tomorrow. And tomorrow we are going to have Pulse of the Fallen. It was supposed to be today, but we're going to have it tomorrow. That's the anime series on Pulse Chain interview with the creator and founder. So you don't want to miss that. That's going to be absolutely awesome. And of course, we'll do more coverage of PROVEX and Pulse Chain then too, and see what the big numbers are coming out from a strategy from Michael Saylor and Bitminer Immersion from Tom Lee. It's going to be an absolute blast tomorrow. So much to talk about. And hey, will Richard Hart do anything? We'll see. We'll be tracking that over the next week or two. All right, take care, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. It's always a pleasure. And I'll catch you next time. Take care, everybody. And bye for now.